Hello, my name is Travis Brown. Today we're going to be making an arrow. I've already got the shaft, already cut the nock, and I cut a space for my arrowhead here. And I've already made the arrowhead, made it out of a bottom of a wine bottle. So I've got some feathers here for my turkey that I killed last year. So when you're picking your feathers, you want feathers from the same side of the bird. So you want them all angled the same way. Find a couple that are different. These two. So you notice how these two, they fan out a separate way. So you want to pick all the same way of feather. So I'm going to pick 3 feathers, and then I'm going to show you how I separate them. And then we'll get to making this. Alright, so to prepare these feathers, what I'm doing is I take my knife and I stick it in the little notch on the back side of the feather, and rock it. I come down about an inch, and just keep doing that. So I reach the end of the groove, and then I just pull my feather and rock my knife. I've got this. I'm going to just peel this apart very gently. Throw this side away. Keep this side. So then, I've already made 2 others. So then what I want to do is I want to find where I want to have my feather at. One is up, that looks good. So then I'm going to peel these feathers off. Throw them away, just like that. Then I'm going to take it on the back side of the feather. Take the tip of my knife and just run it alongside the quill. Careful so you don't cut the quill. And that's what you're left with. Alright, so let's go to the next step. Alright, for the next step of this, you gotta remove some of the pithy part of the middle of the quill here. So what I do is I lay my feather down, and then I roll it over gently, and take the back side of my knife, and I scrape that pith out, just like this. So your feather is like this. So I'm going to go along the length of this feather and finish the other 2 up, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so we've got our feathers and we've got our shaft here, and you don't need to remove every bit of this stuff inside this feather. I didn't get all of it, but towards the front of the feather I like to get as much of that as I can so it lays flatter against the shaft of the arrow. So I've got some sinew soaking here. the sinews from my deer that I killed last year on the back strap. So I'm just going to tie an overhead knot. I'm going to tie a half hitch on this. Dropping down the shaft. So when you're this far down, I don't tie a knot in this. It's when the sinew dries, you just wrap over the tag in when you wrap around, and the sinew will dry and just lock it into place. So once I get down here, I'm gonna get my knife and I'm gonna trim these quills off. Like that. Wrap over those cut ends. I'm going to finish it off with a half hitch. Like that. And I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to cut that tag end off. So we have one feather, or one fletched arrow now. Alright, so now we're going to have the point on here. So I got a can of sterno going because I can't keep my lighter going in this way. So I'm going to heat up some pine glue here. And this is just pine glue made of pine pitch, charcoal, and some ground up dried grass. It's getting good. So we're going to put some on our point here. And a big glob on there. Set that aside. Now I'm going to put some on my shaft, my arrow shaft. And we'll work some in there. Just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to heat the shaft up. And the point, heat that up. Then we're just going to push them together. Just like this. Make sure it's semi-straight. Alright, so now I'm going to get a good piece of sinew here. That one looks like a good piece. I'm going to heat this up. Start wrapping. I'm just going to bury the end of that sinew in that pine glue there. Push it all around like this. I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to trim off the end of the arrow shaft here so it meets up with the arrowhead there. Both sides. Part of that sinew didn't get buried. Alright, so now we have a arrowhead hafted onto our shaft here. Alright, well, we completed our arrow, and this is what it looks like. Doesn't look bad. That's pretty dry. I'm gonna cut this tag end off of this in a second after I get done making this video. So this one is made out of oak, and it's pretty point heavy. So I've made two others, so I got 3 arrows now. These are both poplar, I believe, the dowels you just get from Lowe's, and I've used different techniques on each one. So this one I've coated the pine glue on the shaft and then put the fletchings on, and they didn't really hold that well on this. I didn't want to push too much. I didn't want to crimp up the feathers. And on this one I just put a dab of pine pitch on each feather on the end to get them where I wanted them. And then I used some pine glue here to lock my knot, and some pine glue here to lock my knot on my sinew. So this one has a bone point. It's a little bone point. This one has a bottom of beer bottle point. And then this one has the one we just made. So you saw me shoot this one in my bow video. This is the arrow I was trying the bow out with.